So if you are a hot yoga student, a hot yoga teacher, or wanting to be a hot yoga teacher, I know you're going to want to watch this video. Hi everyone, my name is Jimmy Barkan. Please consider liking this video, commenting on the video, and if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps to push the video out to so many more people, especially people that can use this information, people who are hot yoga students or teachers. Recently, I was in Costa Rica, and one of the top senior Barkan teachers, her name is LANA Vogestad, and she's been assisting me in my level 2 and 3 trainings for the last 5 years. She's my #1 staff person. So while we were in Costa Rica, I interviewed LANA to talk about her personal journey from becoming a yoga student, wanting to share all this information that she learned, taking my teacher training program, and now becoming an internationally known yoga teacher. She's going to take us through each step of the way that got her to this status. So here we are with Barkan teacher LANA Vogestad. And LANA, tell me first about your yoga experience. Where did you start doing yoga?
I began doing hot yoga in 2000 in San Francisco with Mary Jarvis. I was living there after college, and I recently had a surgery. I was feeling unhappy in my body, and I was looking for something besides a gym to make me feel better, and there was a hot yoga studio in my neighborhood.
And you were doing Bikram back then, correct?
Yes, I was doing Bikram, and I walked in without any idea what it was going to be. I didn't bring a towel, a mat, water, or anything, and the legendary Mary Jarvis was my first teacher.
Oh, cool.
And she really got me hooked on it. And I felt the changes happening very soon after I started. So I'm originally from New York. So I moved back to New York a couple years after my dad was sick. So that brought me back to New York to be closer to him. And I continued my practice there.
And where'd you start doing yoga in New York?
At Yoga Spa, which was the first hot yoga and Bikram studio in Westchester.
I knew the owners of Yoga Spa, Patricia and Jackie, and we were really good friends. And I think, was it 2009 I did a workshop? Is that when we first met?
It was in 2004.
2004. Okay.
Yeah, 2004, you did a workshop there, and I took it, and I was really interested in how you were teaching off the dialogue and just bringing in different elements. Remember, you were doing some hands-on adjustments, and just had a different way of teaching than some other Bikram teachers I've had.
What do you mean by off the dialogue? Explain what that means.
So you were teaching customized classes for the students who were in the room, and you were bringing in new ways of looking at the postures.
Right, and that's actually how Bikram used to teach, and probably still continues to teach. That's how I learned how to teach back in the old days, getting off script and really calculating your own words. When did you decide, and why did you decide to do my teacher training program? What prompted you to do that?
I did your training in 2009, and I knew I wanted to do a hot yoga training. It was at this time, I considered it for so many years before, and I was just in a good time in my life to do it. And I loved the hot yoga practice, but again, after meeting you and also reading about your training, how you bring in spiritual elements, the history, the philosophy, and incorporating other postures, that's what drew me to your training. And the freedom to be who I am, like use my own authentic voice, which I've heard a lot about. It was 4 weeks long, and we had quite a few Bikram teachers in your training, which was awesome. Bikram teachers from Japan, a whole bunch from Japan, and people from all over the country, and I think there were others also from outside the U.S. It was such a great experience. Physically, it really was very challenging, doing the 2 classes a day, the meditation. Learning the history and philosophy was also hard for me to grasp. It was just intense on all levels. I was very shy. Even though I did public speaking before for work, I never had to stand up in front of a group and really connect with people on a way that I always wanted to. And this training really helped me do self-study in my own practice and also take care of myself in a way that I never did before, in order to help share this teaching with others. It's really hard to understand what you have to say with the alignment and then also use your own authentic voice at the same time.
And timing.
So there was a lot to consider. Yeah. But we had to do a lot of studying with the bullet points of the postures to really understand the postures first. And I remember you would interrupt us and correct us as we were doing it in front of everyone. And we had to just stay really strong and persevere through that to keep growing and learning more. So after that training, I felt I had a lot more tools in my toolbox to stand up in front of people and to express myself and to communicate with them and to share this wonderful practice. But it wasn't until I really started teaching in front of people in classes that I really felt the benefits of that, because that gave me the confidence to do it in front of big groups of people. Yeah, I think with teaching, you need to know what you're teaching before you teach a class. So some teacher trainings programs, they say, you just have to go and you learn as you go. But with your training, we had so much study, so much practice that we're really prepared to teach a class when we are. And lot less nervous. I was so excited, motivated, and inspired. I started teaching in Iceland, and in Iceland at the time, they didn't have hot yoga.
So now Lana does my teacher training program, and her husband is originally from Iceland, and he gets transferred to go back to Iceland. So now Lana's saying, how am I going to start teaching yoga in Iceland, in Reykjavik, so the capital of Iceland? So now let's go back and talk about how she was able to get into the whole Icelandic yogic community.
My first teaching experience in Iceland was at Vogestad, which is a renowned Ashtanga studio.
So you reached out to her and said, I'd like to teach, and these are my qualifications, and showed her a certificate?
Yeah, she had very high standards for her teachers there, again, because everyone had studied like with Patabi Joyce and in the Ashtanga practice, really experienced teachers.
So now what was your next job after Vogestad? Where'd you go?
There is a very high-end fitness club in Iceland, the World Class. It's very nice. And the owner reached out to me and asked if I could teach hot yoga there. And when I started that was something, I'm not a gym person, but this place was like on another level, super nice. They had a spa. And it was amazing. I loved teaching in this place, a place that I normally wouldn't have. I reached out to the yoga studio first, and then I ended up teaching at World Class and had so many students, so many people who would normally not do yoga come in and got so hooked. There was just so many incredible stories of people who came every day. Having that hot yoga discipline practice in my background, that's how I was encouraging everyone to do it, to come every day. And just incredible stories of people, healing stories, scoliosis, things with their medications, getting off medications that they have, and making huge changes in their life. It was like such a phenomenal experience, and we were a very close group, but it would be like, 50, 60 people in a class. I taught 12 to 15 classes a week for the 4 years I was in Iceland.
And it's really amazing, too, and I have you to thank for that, because now we have over 25, maybe even 30 certified Barkan teachers, not just in Reykjavik, Iceland, but also in Selfoss, Iceland. So it's a big Barkan Method hub, definitely because of you, and I really wanted to thank you for that. It's really extraordinary contribution. Now let me talk to us a little bit about Zoka. So one of my students did my teacher training program, and she moved to Amsterdam, correct?
So Zoka owns a studio called Balance.
Okay.
It started in The Hague. Now she has multiple locations.
So she's about to open her studio.
The Hague, Netherlands.
Tell us what happens. 1 month before her opening.
I think it was like 6 weeks, right? 6 weeks before Zoka opens up her studio. I forget if you reached out or Zoka reached out. You both kind of reached out.
I let her know because she emailed me.
Yeah.
And I let her know about you because you were semi-close. Iceland to The Hague was pretty close, right?
Yes, yeah. So Zoka broke her ankle like 6 weeks before she was about to open up her like state-of-the-art hot yoga studio. And she was going to teach most of the classes. So she was in a huge bind. And she asked me if I would be interested to come over and help run the studio and teach most of the classes for the first couple months. So I was really excited too. She was one of your teachers, and that was an amazing experience.
Great Barkan Method European connection.
Yes,
it was. Really cool.
Yes, it was.
Now Lana and her husband decide to leave Iceland. She goes to Georgia, and then from Georgia she goes to Maine, and she continues like a Pied Piper to create a following in every single city that she's been living in. up to the present day time. So we're going to talk about her journey after she leaves Iceland. What happened then?
I moved to southern Maine about 8 years ago, and like an hour north of Boston. And I first started teaching in Portland, Maine at the old Bikram studio there. My son was just like 6 weeks old. I was just so excited to get back into the hot room and teach. We moved there right before my son was born as well. And I also did some workshops in the area. I taught at the old Bikram studio in Portsmouth for a while. And as a visual artist, I always had this deeper calling to do something more creative and use this experience that I've been doing as a teacher and helping people and trying to combine it all together. So in 2009, I started working with a filmmaker, and I had this idea to create yoga videos using cinematography and custom soundscapes. I work with musicians who I'm friends with, making music, to create a platform to bring in yoga, meditation, and art to enhance a transformational experience.
Are there links people can go on to see?
What was that?
Are there links people can go on to see?
Yeah, it's called Indi Yoga, YNDI, which means bliss in Icelandic.
And we're going to leave the links in the description below. You can check out those links down below in the description.
Yeah, indieyoga.com, and we recently produced a TV series called Indie Yoga on PBS that's around the country.
That's so cool.
And also in Canada. I have so much to thank you for giving me the courage to step out of my comfort zone, to really believe in myself and believe in my voice and use my voice and this passion for this practice to help others. And it's changed my life, the practice itself. I love the Barkan Method. My students love the Barkan Method. And I love that you also inspire teachers to find their wings and fly, because that's like the ultimate, to feel free, to not feel controlled. And so grateful for you and everything that you've done for myself and all the teachers and students you've had.
And I want to thank you not just for myself, but also just for the whole yoga community, because you have made such a contribution all over the world, and it's really inspiring and fascinating to see. So thank you so much, and thank you for doing this interview. You are really special.
Thank you, Jimmy.
So isn't Lana's story fascinating? She went from yoga student who wanted to share her passion, what she learned all her life, with the world, and became an internationally known yoga teacher. And in Iceland, the Barkan Method now, because of LANA, is one of the most popular styles of yoga. So once again, if you're interested in doing the Barkan Method Teacher Training Program, there are applications in the description below, or you can just book a call with me online. Love to have you join the family. So that's our episode for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing, hit the like button, and please comment any questions you have about teacher training programs. Any questions you have about teacher training programs, put them down below. I get to all the comments. And I thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the next video. Bye, everyone.